Hello, hello, hello. December 31st, 2020. Raise your hand if you're ready for this year to be over. Way over. Ready, way over. Ready. Ready for it to be gone and move on to hopefully a better year next year. Welcome to the live stream. This is, of course, my Thursday afternoon live stream at 3 p.m. I do one on Monday nights at 7 for pretty much everybody in the U.S. And then I try to do it at 3 p.m. on Wednesdays so that I can pick up viewers that are maybe in Europe and give them an opportunity to participate. This live stream, we talk about old cars, maintenance, things we can do to improve them, offer help for people who are looking for answers to questions that they may have about one of their classic cars. Sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I don't. And thankfully, I have a nice support group on the side in the chat that if they want to participate, they can, and they can help answer these questions. I have a little bell here, and this was actually David and Cheryl gave me this bell. And this bell is for basically if you make a good comment or answer, you get a bell, kind of a little reward. And then, of course, if I give a good answer, I get a bell too, but I normally don't do that very much. So that's what the bell is for in case you hear it later on in the broadcast. At this point, I'm showing 27 viewers, which is not bad, considering I think what the last one was. The last broadcast on Thursday was Christmas Eve, not a lot of people out. But this one, maybe we'll get some more. So over here on the chat box, Caden Wickel had checked in. He checked in at like 1 o'clock. He was a little bit early, but he was here. David Cheryl checking in. Happy New Year. Rick Stevenson, greetings and Happy New Year to everyone. And Rick, the bracket arrived. It's here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll clean that up and get it on the car. Jerry, checking in from Middle Tennessee. Hello, Middle Tennessee, and a very Happy New Year to all. May 2020 be a better year. Yeah, let's hope so. M.I.M. so. Phil checking in. You guys talk. I'll listen. Still adding electrical to the new shop. Well, I'm glad you're here, Phil. Let's see. Bob Knoll. Afternoon, Barry. Everything's all right. Hope everything's all right. Yeah, well, we'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, so far, Scott Keeney. Happy New Year, everyone. Just rolled into 01, January 2021 here in Abu Dhabi. The year's looking okay so far. Chris Greenaway, grabbing a coffee, the ultimate drink for skipping a meal. Yep, I can't argue with that. Coif Customs says hi. Glad you're here. Caden Wickel, hello all. It's Cowboy. Okay. Let's see. Rick Gain, Happy New Year, Barry. Brian Bergman, finally. There you go. Darlene has raised her hand. She is ready for this year to be over. Reese, Happy New Year. Crash Rider, Happy New Year, everyone from Southern Indiana. Nandu, hi, Barry. Everyone, Happy New Year to you all. Yes. Harvey, hello, Barry. Happy almost New Year. Yes. Darlene, just out of hospital. Glad to be watching this on my own bed. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Revstoration, happy last day of 2020. Yes. Oh, let's see. Chris, lobster tails and shrimp for Din Din. Our traditional New Year's meal is actually pork roast, kielbasa, and sauerkraut. That's a traditional meal that we have. I know that's not a southern meal. That's like Pennsylvania. I think in South they eat collard greens and something. I don't know. We never really did that. David Sherrill, hands up. Yes. Brian, finally this year is over. I meant hello, Barry and everyone. Let's see. Oh, Marshall. Happy New Year all. Thanks for the vids, Barry. Keep them coming. Thank you for the super sticker. Or super chat, I should say. That's actually a super chat, I believe. Thank you for that, Marshall. Appreciate that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Try not to get too much into it. Coif. I guess it's Coif. I don't know how to say that. Is that your Mustang? Yes, it is. That is my 68 Mustang, known as Jade. So if you haven't seen it, there's a playlist on the channel for that Mustang, and you can view all kinds of videos on that Mustang or a variety of other Mustangs and all kinds of stuff that I've done. I didn't run the numbers specifically. I know I'm probably around 650 videos on YouTube on this channel alone. And I think I was trying to research it earlier today because I have another video coming out at 5 that was trying to see the numbers for how many videos I produced this year. And it's at least 50 from what I could see. So, and that doesn't count live streams and stuff like that. Caden, hello from Kansas. Glad you're here. Battery Burnout, checking in. Happy New Year. Brendan's Garage, Happy New Year, everyone. First day of 2021 here in New Zealand. Glad you made it there. Bellman, Mustangs are the best cars in the world. Okay. I won't argue with that. I like them. Truck 1LT. Hey Barry, Happy New Year to everyone. I'm stuck protecting the citizens of Baltimore tonight. Well, thank you for doing that. Seriously, that's another thank you for your service type of thing. You know where I stand on that. Caden, anyone want to hear a car truck joke? We'll see. Kenyon, 2021 from Ohio. Yep. Bellman, just bought myself a brand new 19 Orange Fury GT 350R. Can't wait to drive it. Man, that sounds really cool. Marshall again, yes. James Jordan, Happy New Year. Maybe this is the year I finished the 68 Fastback. There's always hope. There's always hope. David Willis, Happy New Year's. Barry, getting a little done on my old Mustang. Good. Caden, it's been a long night. Might smoke some meat. That sounds good to me. Chris, I hate being a new guy. Oh my. I have can't put it together itis. I think it's what you're saying. Yeah. Well, it takes time. We don't learn these things overnight. Mine was mostly osmosis, growing up in the junkyard. 68 Mustang restoration. Wally, cannot wait until 2020 is in the rear view mirror. Yeah. Well, I think I'm not 100% sure. Weren't they saying that one of the Mad Max movies was set in 2021? I don't remember for sure, but I thought maybe so, that it was 2021, that a Road Warrior, one of those, I think it's Road Warrior maybe, is set in 2021. So make sure you have your apocalypse rides ready to go, roll bars, extra fuel, all that stuff. Darlene, don't forget to thumbs up, everyone. Yep. Thank you for that. Restoration, I took our 66 Stang for its first ride in 28 years yesterday. Yours is in better shape. Well, still, that's pretty awesome. The thing is, I honestly don't. Well, I do have a reference. Wait a minute. I have some paperwork in the car from when it was registered in like Texas. I don't know if it was. I think it was driven in Georgia. I want to point that out because I've been hanging on to this plate. Well, it was registered. It was registered in 2009. And so this was the plate that was on the car when I got it. Of course, it is an antique vehicle type of plate. I don't think that I'm going to do a custom plate, a vanity tag. But in Georgia, I know I could take that plate and re-register it with that old plate. I think I want to keep that going. I kind of like that idea of, this was with the car and it's going to stay with the car. So anyway, Jeremy, Happy New Year from Southern Indiana, Gear Jammer. I'm glad you're here. Caden, so we all know how fragile second generation Dodge dashes are, but my stepdad rolled his second gen foobarred the headlights and snapped the U-bolts on the axles, but the dash didn't break. Well, you've got yourself a keeper. I hope your dad's okay, though. It doesn't sound like a very good crash. I mean, if he did all that kind of damage, that's not good. Coey, my dad has a 57 Chevy Bel Air and a Trans Am Firebird. That's cool. Good deal. Ronald Bell, hey, very happy New Year, checking in from the Tri-Counties in Northeast Tennessee. Tri-Counties? Or is that Tri-Counties? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Cody's or not. I don't know what Cody's are. Chris sent you some pics as you didn't know what the 72 Reno looked like. Happy New Year's. Okay. Let me just look real quick and see if where's my okay. Yeah, they haven't shown up yet. Oh, it's gonna let me. We'll see what happens if it shows up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, 72 Gran Torino. Yep, yep. I'll download those pics. We'll share those in a second. Why not? Let's see. Do I have the Marty report on Jade or not bothered? Nah, it's not worth. It's not worth the time. I mean, it'd be kind of neat, but it would just tell me you have, you know, a green Mustang, one of 50,000 green Mustangs that they built that year with air conditioning. It's nothing going to be special about it. I can tell you that. Let me go back up. So you sent me those two pictures. Let me just pull those up real quick. So there's the Torino that we're talking about. And like I get. In some ways, I like the way it looks, and in other ways, it just doesn't appeal to me very much. It's just your taste. Everybody has their own taste in these cars. I mean, from the side, honestly, from the side, if you cover up the nose of the car, it really looks a lot like kind of mimics a Chevelle, but that nose is a bit longer by the looks of it. So it's a cool car, nothing wrong with it. Mad Max 2 was 2021. Good memory, yeah, yeah. And in States they named it Road Warrior. It was Mad Max 2, I believe, when they released it in Australia or wherever the first release was. When it came to the States, they changed it to the Road Warrior. Trivia there. Now, I don't know if it was, you say Mad Max 2, maybe that's what it was in Canada as well, Wally. I don't know. I can only assume. Let's see. Rusty's Mustang Garage, Happy New Year, hoping for a better 2021. Me too. Rev, we are about 20 miles south of Atlanta. Our Holy Stang is only run on dirt roads so far. 20 miles south of Atlanta, our Holy Stang is only running on dirt roads so far. Well, where at? You're south of Atlanta. You're in my neighborhood. You're in my neighborhood. Chris, Ford's best midsize muscle car. Yeah, okay. I won't argue that. David Outdoors checking in. Glad you're here. Brian Bergman, 72 Starsky, 72 Torino Starsky and Hutch car, easy to explain it. Yeah, and that's how I'd referenced it before. Was I felt that it was the Starsky and Hutch car. David, hey Barry, it's Dave from New Jersey. Still working on the floors and the trans hump on the 66 Fastback. Yeah, we end up with a lot of Daves. David. Well, I think we have 3 so far. Hit the like button, everyone. Yep, definitely. Caden, sorry. Love me some Chevelle. Yeah, I've got a couple Chevelle videos on this channel. It's a 72 big block SS car that I did some work to it. Nothing major. I think I put brakes on it, changed the backing plate, and fixed the steering column, put a brake booster on it, and I made a custom fuel line setup for it. A lot of times you end up with the hard line coming up, and people cut that off. It's supposed to go like right into the carburetor. It might be like an inline fuel filter, and if they add in a different type of carburetor that can't accept that threaded type filter, then they just put in an inline filter and a hose and that sort of thing. Well, whoever had worked on this car, they had junk all over the place, and I rerouted it, and I made a custom holder for the fuel filter, because it had one of those plastic fuel filters. They're slightly tapered, and I made a custom holder for that, so you could see the filter itself and also hold it in place. Um, and then, oh, sorry, I got some side conversation. Anyway, it was just a cool little bracket. First time I tried something like that, I think it turned out pretty cool. Um, yeah, Chris David Outdoor saying his picture is gone. Chris Greenaway says, close out and come back. Yeah, because we had that issue before with somebody else. They had to reload the page for some reason. I don't know if they were watching on their phone or whatever, but they had to reload it. Chris, they sold 90,000 best Ford midsize car, best sales for the model. Most people felt the Torino lacked styling compared to Chevelle and GTOs, but 72 wiped the floor with them. Well, it could be. I mean, they're a very similar looking car. Um, let's go. Let's see. Brendan, close to finishing our 50 Prefect. Then we'll start on our 68 Mustang Coupe. Yeah, and if you haven't seen that, Brendan's Garage, he has some videos going with his 68 Mustang that he bought in New Zealand and also his 50 Ford Prefect. If you haven't seen that, that's kind of cool. It almost looks like a 40 Ford that you would see in the States, only like scaled down. And it has an engine that's about this big in it, a little 4-cylinder engine. It looks like it's about that big. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out as well. Bob, today I broke the bolt that holds my steering column up. Way to go, 2020. That's never cool. Okay, let's see. Brian, here's a car question. I'm cutting out about 18 inches of my forward trans tunnel on my Fairlane. Should I do some bracing? Probably not. I mean, the tunnel is just there to cover up, complete the floor and, cover up the transmission. 18 inches, you're probably not going to notice any difference at all. Everything is pretty stout, from that standpoint. You're going to have the tranny tunnel, I guess the bracing, it could be in that zone, but as long as you don't cut through that, I don't see any issues doing that. David Outdoors, too cold to work on the Formula. No heat in his garage. Bob, no, I love the heat in my garage. I love the heat in my garage. Of course, it's been a little bit better now. Weather, it's gotten a little warmer. So hopefully that trend continues. Chris, how do you find cars I'm looking for next project? Because Firebird was too good, specifically a 72 Mercury Montego. Yeah, I mean, I look at Marketplace or Craigslist or just run into people that happen to have cars. It's like this 68 that's behind me. How I got that car was I was driving my dune buggy, and I was at the parts store, and a guy come walking out, and he saw the dune buggy, and he was like, "Wow," checking it out, looking at the car, and he was asking about whether I work on cars and stuff like that. And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Would you be interested in a Mustang?" And I was like, "Maybe." So then we got an address, and I drove to look at it and bought it. So that's how I ended up with Jade. It was just a random meeting, honestly. Chris is saying, "Oh, GT. That's even tougher to find a Mercury Montego GT, I'm sure." You're welcome, Brian. 28 in Syracuse. Ooh, yeah, no thanks. Chris says he works out of a drafty carport. Yeah, don't like that. Dale, hello from California. Thanks for the short note and sticker. Goodbye 2020. Hello 2021. You're welcome, Dale. Thank you. Koif, I don't know. I guess I'm saying that right. I don't know how else to say that. Koif. Koif. Do you have any other cars? Well, yes. I've got the 68 Mustang. I've got a 65 Mustang Coupe. I've got a 1931 Model A Ford that's all basically all original. I have a 1968 GMC truck that's half 68, half 2006. And I have a 68 Camaro that I need to build. And a 68 dune buggy. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. And of course, I'm working on a 66 Mustang convertible along with all that as well. Restoration, I'm in Porterdale, just outside of Covington, Georgia. Okay. Well, I'm like due south of Atlanta. So, like Atlanta Airport, due south of Atlanta Airport. Chris, he has a model. Another Mustang customer says, customer a 6768 Camaro. Oh, a Model A, another Mustang. Yes. Yep. Don't forget, the dune buggy too, and the old GMC. Brendan's Chris Facebook Marketplace is the last place I thought I'd find a Project 68 Mustang Coupe here in New Zealand. Couldn't believe it. There you go. Caden, we currently have an all original 1930 Oldsmobile in our garage. I'd like to see that. That sounds cool. You look at these cars, you talk about the generations of cars, right? And I mentioned before, you talk about a design feature, let's say, and I like to point this out, Studebaker. In 1953, they had a really swoopy car, right? Everybody else had shoeboxes. Hey, Brian, thank you for that. Appreciate it. So if you look back in history and talk about Studebakers, whatever cars, anyone you want to pick, and you go back and back and back, and you go to see like the Model T, right? Well, if you look at the Model T, it was a car for the people. Really, it was just a cheap transportation for everybody. And then the Model A came along and made it a little bit better. But if you look at the cars, okay, compare 1931 or 30 Model A to any, most all those cars built in that time period. You look at a Packard or, I lost my train of thought. Duesenbergs, those kind of cars. What's the one with the tapered Boattail Speedster? They had the taper Cord. All those generations of cars, and they were really a lot fancier. A lot fancier cars. Even like this Oldsmobile, I'm sure it's going to be a fancier car. He's saying it has all original with the horn too, and it still runs. Has a flathead V6. So here, the Model A had this little 4-cylinder engine. I don't even know what it made, 20, 30 horsepower. It was, to me, the Model A's are just glorified tractors. That's how I look at them. The Model T and the Model A, they're just tractors with doors. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And you look at some of these other ones, and they're like, wow, they really did a job. Of course, now you're going to pay a big difference too. They were selling cars for what? I don't even remember, $300 or something back then. Where if you try to buy a Packard or a Duesenberg or those kind of cars, no common person will touch one of those. So just kind of neat to think about the stepping stones of cars in the history. Darlene, I would die without a heated garage here in Alaska. Even in summer, it is usually in the 60s. My hands just don't like to work when they get the least cold. Yeah, I'm not a fan of cold weather at all. I have some friends who grew up here in Georgia, and they claim to really like the cold weather, but they didn't have to live in it. They don't have to live in it. When the temperature drops here, they get excited, but I'm like, no. I mean, I grew up in cold weather, and I don't miss it whatsoever. Some people do. Some people like it. Usually, you adapt to what you have, but no, I'd rather be warm. Rick, what is the status of your 65 Mustang Coupe, and what are your plans for it? It's just sitting right now. I had a friend of mine sell it to me. It's an original 289 3-speed manual car, and he had started to build it and then lost interest, so he sold it to me. And the car has basically all the shell is all original sheet metal, really, really nice. He put new doors on it, new fenders on it. I don't know that he really needed to, but he did. And he also put a new hood. But it's a running, driving car, just in primer, no glass in it. So I have to, decide what I'm going to do with it. I think the color was one of those really bad colors they had in 65, like off green teal or something, some sort of washed green. It just doesn't look good, whatever the original color was. But we'll see when that time comes. Brennan's garage. Cheap 60s Mustang projects don't exist here. I'm surprised, but I surprisingly I found one. Yep. Chris, sorry, I barely passed English. 68 Mustang restoration. Wally. New fuse box arrived today. Today split circuit, 6 fuses, constant power, and 6 fuses switch power. Dragging Mustang into the new age. That's good to know. I'm hoping you did a video. Which I'll point it out again. If you haven't, check out Wally's channel, 68 Mustang Restoration. Get on there, give him a like, and follow, and keep up with it. Caden, and suicide doors as well. That's cool. That's a getaway car, right? Gangster car. I like those. Chris, I love the odd cars, Cougar Serenas, Montegas, because you just don't see them. I'm tired of seeing 69 coupes made in the Mach 1s, etc. Chevelles, Camaros. I understand that. I have a 664 long bed in my backyard. Yeah, that's a cool truck. I had one in high school. I had one that I worked on. Never. I just drove around the junkyard. It was a 4x4, 65 or 6, one of the two. I like the way those look. RJ, just checking in. Happy New Year. Just checking in for wish you all Happy New Year. Glad you're here. Leonard, afternoon all. How's the last day of 2020 going? Well, it's going. It's going. Chris, I love cold weather. Here's why. If you live someplace where it's warm, you want to drive the Classic all the time. In winter, everyone knows the big jobs are in winter, so they're ready for cruising. Oh, okay. No, I understand that. I like going swimming and stuff. So I enjoy having warm weather for that purpose, among other things. Leonard, happy New Year. Brendan, yes. Okay. So a couple things I was going to bring up. I think I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not on the last live stream on Monday. As it turns out, our daughter tested positive for COVID. So we're unsure what our status is. I know that my grandson had some cold symptoms and different things. My daughter is having some congestion and headache and stuff like that. We don't know exactly how far it spread. Did it end up with all of us or not? So I know my daughter-in-law and son are going to get tested because they both work and they have to be tested before they can go back to work. And I know my wife wants to get tested. I'm not sure if I'm going to get tested or not, but we're still kind of waiting to see if any real symptoms arise. We're, and not that I can say anything is going to help in any way better or not. Like we take our vitamin C and our vitamin D and our zinc and all those sort of things, and they say that'll help. So we'll find out. But at this point, we're not sure the status. So hopefully it's not spread to the rest of us, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay, so Caden just subscribed to Wally. That's cool. Jack W. Happy New Year, Barry. Happy New Year to you, buddy. And Robert checking in. That's another channel. If you haven't checked out Robert's stuff yet, check out the Infernal Craftsman. Give him a like. It's just me. Yeah, sad face. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she will. She had actually had a roommate who had it a few weeks back. Even though they didn't interact, they didn't cross over. But she recovered. But again, my daughter, she's not showing any heavy symptoms at this point. So hopefully everything goes fine. Leonard, I enjoyed your video on your dad's wrecking yard. Yep, all gone. In that video from '92, and there was a lot of, I don't know if you could tell by the video, but there was a lot of open spaces. I think I do one shot of a 53 Bel Air that is a 4-door sitting off by itself. I remember all these cars. I mean, from that time period all the way up, I could still walk to where a certain car sat because I was around them all the time. And in that area, it was packed. I mean, it used to be packed full of cars. And I'm pretty confident that I did some counting when I was younger, and I came close. There was around 1,000 cars were in that junkyard at that time, but a lot of them are gone. Were gone in that video in '92. So we'll find out how things go in the future. I think my brother had run that. He had run the junkyard, and then went away from it. I don't know if he was talking about moving back up that way, but I don't know if he will. I think my dad maintains the license for the place just because, but I'm not part of that anymore. So I do miss it though. I do really do. Yes, Brendan subscribed to Wally about a week ago. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she'll be fine. Well, be fine. Darlene, I would truly pray y'all get only a light case. Yeah, yeah, that's always the hope. Chris, COVID is a pain. Some people don't have symptoms till 6 months later. Yeah, that's a thought too. Um, let's see. How long ago when you got your Mustang? This Mustang, I think I got it in 2013, maybe 2012. I'm not sure. One of those, somewhere around that time. It's been quite a while. Chris, a lot of crossover between UTG here. I watched him for Theory. Let's see. I watch him for Theory. You to base how to work on projects. Well, thank you for that. Um, Christopher Gibson, what's your opinion on Dynacorn versus Ford tooling tail panel? Same question for the deck lid, an original versus Dynacorn. Just concerned about the slight curve in the tail panel matching thoughts. Okay, I have not used a Dynacorn tail panel or a Dynacorn deck lid, so I really can't give you any thoughts on that. Maybe some others have, but I can't specifically say that I've used those. I've heard good things, but I don't know. I can't say one or the other. So maybe if somebody else has some insight, they can give some advice as to um, whether they've used those panels or not. But I've heard good things. Again, I'm going to assume that they're very close. Um, I would rather use a Dynacorn than the generic brand at this point. But original tooling is always going to be the best. Brendan, how old were you in that wrecking yard video, Barry? I was 25. I know I sound really young in that video, and somebody else had commented on that, and I was like, well, the recording technology was not the greatest thing. Obviously, you can tell by the quality of the video, and of course, I'm going to sound younger when I'm younger. That's pretty normal for everybody, but I did sound pretty young in that video. Jolie Cox, good afternoon. Glad you're here. The Infernal Craftsman, Chris, always go with the original tooling if possible. You're trying to respond to Christopher Gibson, not Chris Greenaway. So, yeah, if possible, original tooling is always going to be the best. Yeah. 500 geese above my house. Okay. Any thoughts on Milwaukee's new M18 fuel impact or M18 fuel impact? No, no thoughts on it. I have not used those. I have not messed with it. You're talking about, I guess that's like an electric. I'm sure it's a Milwaukee, so it's gonna be a cordless impact gun. Is that what you're saying? I don't have any good reference on that. It has the wrong one highlighted. Yep. Okay. Chris, this just proves the hypocrisy of the virus. Politicians going on vacation trips and we follow the rules, still get exposed. I hope everyone is okay and heals relatively speedy. Yes, I do too. The thing is, my daughter, she's still in college and she works at a restaurant. She was doing babysitting. She was doing several things, to make money. And in a restaurant, apparently somebody was sick. Maybe they didn't know it. They found out after they come to work. weren't showing symptoms, and my daughter she thinks that was a point of contact that got her sick. So, it doesn't play favorites apparently, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens with us. I woke up this morning. I thought I had a headache. It's kind of worked itself out. Everything I can still smell and taste. So, can't say if and when symptoms arise. I don't know. Koif, I live in the Atlanta area. Chris, love goose hunting with barely edible birds. Can't wait for spring turkey hunting. Yeah. FE428, Happy New Year to everyone. Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. Um, Speaking of which, Happy New Year stuff. I am releasing a video at 5 o'clock today. And in that video, I really don't, it's not like much of a repair video. It's kind of an overview of really this car. Because, this has been on the horizon now for quite some time. And I start off talking about the car itself, what has to happen to it and, what the plans are. And then I do a short time-lapse video of block sanding because I do the transitions. Wally had pointed this out in one of his videos as well, whether you can see it or not. I'm just verifying transitions between door and fender up there. So I always go over the seam with filler, block sand it out, and then go from there. So it's coming along. And then from that stand, for the next segment of that video, I go into specific detail about YouTube. People have asked questions. People are curious. I know everybody wants to know. We talked about it in several live streams about revenue and how much money people actually make on YouTube. Well, some people make tons and tons of money because they have like big sponsorships, or they have, they promote a product or something, and different things like that, or they have 1 million subscribers. So they post a video about them getting their mail, and they get 1 million views, and they get paid for that. So which is kind of twisted, but anyway, in that video, I go into more detail about it. So the revenue stream and where it was, where it's at, where I hope for it to improve. But anyway, some information that'll come out, and that'll be at 5 o'clock today. So if you're interested, have a look at that. Khalif, what was your first vehicle? Well, I've talked about this before. The first vehicle I was assigned to drive was a 74 AMC Matador. That was the first vehicle that was like, here, this is yours to drive. The first vehicle I technically owned was a 72 Chevy long bed. And I did that because my car, whatever I had, usually it would disappear. So I had to buy a vehicle so my dad couldn't sell it. I had to pay for it, have the title in my name so he couldn't sell my truck. But the first vehicle was just a piece of junk. Didn't last a couple weeks. I managed to tear the exhaust off of it, and then I don't remember exactly what I drove after that. I've had lots and lots and lots and lots of cars over the years. Caden, that primer gray on the front of your Mustang looks nice. Yeah, that on the front. That's epoxy. That's actually epoxy. And then, of course, this is 2K high build on the rest of the car. So once everything gets into light gray, then we can move forward from there. Hopefully, I can get things ready to go. I would like to have this car painted by the end of January. Would like to. And I don't see any reason why I can't. It's just these little details I have to get caught up on. Things like, like this bracket right here that I was missing this. And I pointed this out earlier. Rick Stevenson sent me one of these. So this is a center support bracket for the upper valance. Then I had Phil send me a hood latch, which functions perfectly. So, stuff like that. And then, of course, there's all these things I'm going to need to get, along the line, a dash pad, instrument cluster. I want to get new seat belts in it, change out the steering wheel, several things in that process. Let's see, CSL, RC, Lauren Cronish, Happy New Year. And Jay, you got this virtual hug. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Jerry, the M18 fuel impact half inch is great. I purchased one with 1,100 foot-pounds breakaway and 700 foot-pounds Titan. Battery life is great. I paid about $400 several years ago. See, that's where it throws me off. When I read that, it said M18 fuel impact. That seems like a weird name for an impact gun, but I get it. It's a powerful impact gun. I wouldn't mind having one. Chris, hey Barry, have you contacted NPD? They have auto sound. Around 75,000 subscribers. Had them since they were around 40,000. No, I have not. I need to. I had, I messed up. I had NPD on the phone a couple weeks ago, and I just realized my microphone is not in front of my face. Sorry about that. But I had NPD on the phone a couple weeks ago, and they had sent me give me an email contact for the owner, and I think I threw it away. So I'm gonna have to try to find that again and go from there. I just realized, I hope I sounded okay. I don't know. My microphone was off to the side. Sorry about that. David, any new projects for 2021? Well, other than trying to get Jade done, I still have goals to get the Brooklyn Pony done. That's taken a long time. It's been several issues along the road, several change of plans or direction in the car. And, I was trying to get everything I could done on it. And, it's just kind of gotten, I don't know, a bit of a frustration trying to make sure I get all the parts that I need to get it finished. This car's been on hold through 3 cars now. I did light blue Mustang, I did Mystique, and then I was working on the Brooklyn Pony. And so in between now, I've worked on this car as well. I have put on, I built the car while I was doing those other cars. So that's why it's taken so long. But ideally, once this car's done and I can maybe get all the stuff I need for the Brooklyn Pony, knock it out. I do have the 68 Camaro to build or rebuild. That was a rollover job. And so I have all the metal to build that back together. That's something I want to get done. And then there may be a 69 Chevelle coming that I'm going to redo. So that may be on the horizon. I'd also like to revisit some of the stuff on the 68 GMC that I built. I've put the truck together and I've driven it, and I never really got it finished. So I've been driving it as is, but I would like to take it a few steps further. And whether that means taking it back apart and painting it, I don't know yet. But there's some things I want to address with that truck and just haven't gotten to that point yet. And of course, the 65 Mustang coupe that is sitting and waiting. And of course, I'm always looking for something else. If I find the right project at the right time and I can justify getting it, I'll probably get it, and we'll see what happens from there. But that's where that looks for 2021. Do you have a shop dog? Nope. Do not. We have 4 animals that live in our house. 2 dogs and 2 little cats. 2 dogs and 2 cats. Not a fan of cats. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh, okay, so it's just me. Your wife has been waiting a long time for Jade. Yeah. Well, she's probably not nearly as enthused about it as I am. That was the plan, but I don't know that she's really would ever drive it anyway. So it has to be driven, though. Somebody's got to drive it. I'll take care of that. 1-inch impact is what Jerry was saying. Or Caden was asking about the 1-inch impact. Okay. Chris, Jade's like when a husband who buys a new gun for hunting. Hunting is for you. Perfect sound. Yep. Thank you, Darlene. I wasn't sure. I know this is a decent little microphone, but it was sitting off to the side. Okay, so there's that. Battery burnout. Brooklyn Pony is a restoration. That's a complete build and modified job. Yep. I mean, it started off in one, and then it kind of did this as time went on. So really kind of just dragging out. Chris Barry lets you paint the Firebird, but transportation-wise, it's a $3,000 fee back and forth. Yeah. It's just me. Oh, it's his wife's. Yeah, well, it's meant to be her car. It's meant to be her car. But like I said, she probably won't drive it. So I'll have to drive it. Johnny Crash, good afternoon. Won't be staying long today. Starting on rebuilding my door hinges today. I will rewatch your Brooklyn Pony hinge video again to prepare. What you could do, I'm gonna point you at another one too. Because I did those versions or that one on the Brooklyn Pony, but also I rebuilt some hinges for a 67, which are similar. And of course, I rebuilt the hinges for the 68. There may be some good value in watching the other two videos because I did some different things. So check out the other ones as well. I used heat. I forget what just check out those other videos before you jump into it, just to give you some advice. Christopher Gibson, what parts am I buying with the stimulus checks? Not trying to offend anyone affected job-wise due to this pandemic. Yeah. Probably not going to be using it for anything on that side. Darlene, haven't met the right cat. Well, I have a slight allergy to cats. And the two cats that we have, somebody dumped them on our street, which, that's really nice of them. I don't know what year it was. It's been over 10 years. And basically they're just little money pits to me. That's why I look at it, because the one cat, it's diabetic. It has to have special food. Just takes it and ties you down to have an animal that you have to take care of like that. And these weren't even cats that we pursued. These were ones that just got dumped on our street, and our kids found them, and that's why we have them. So otherwise, we'll never, ever, ever, ever have cats again. Jerry, I have 2 barn cats and do what I need, which is to keep my son in control. Yeah. All right. Brendan, hello from Germany. Hopefully moving back to States soon so I can start back on my 70 Camaro that's been on hold for 16 months. Well, that sounds like a plan. I'm assuming you're in the military. I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. Khalif, how was Christmas? It was good. We got a bunch of stuff for the grandson. This has been a popular. I'll show you this picture because it's cool. That was a pretty popular little addition to the lineup as far as toys go. It's a battery-powered bus. He likes buses, so VW bus fits the mold. He hasn't driven it yet because he's scared of it. He's only about 18 months. So when he steps on the gas pedal, it startles him. So he's not really a fan of it just yet, but I know he will be. Otherwise, we had a pretty regular Christmas. We had our traditional lasagna I mentioned before. Best meal for Christmas. My wife has made it every year and can't beat it. Johnny Crash just ordered a rear valance, backup lights, no cutouts. Ordered from CJ Pony based on your comparison video. Also purchased a 6768 GT valance. I'm going to be doing surgery. Yep. One way or another, I'm sure you will. Caden, I hate it when people just dump animals. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Infernal Craftsman, the kids are the problem, not the cats. We know how that goes. Yeah. Well, it's fine. We've had. I mean, we're animal lovers. We've had a bunch of different creatures over the years, but I'm a dog person. We've had I don't know how many dogs over the years, but dogs have a life too. They last about 10 to 13 years, somewhere in that range. But cats, I don't, sorry. I mean, I don't want to harm them, but I'm not going to, there are days where I get affected by the by them, allergy stuff. And that's when I really, really get frustrated. David Sherrill, we just did a Jade video marathon. It was interesting to see how your videos improved over time. I'm sure it was. I'll give you a bell for that, because the when I first started on Jade, the first repair video that I did was the torque boxes and floor support on the driver's side. And I'll point out that particular video, or that early series of videos on that, I was filming it with like this, not even this camera. I think it was another one before this one, just a little handheld, trying to point at things. And that was right after leaving the body shop. So, I was, I had a bunch of junk in the garage I had to get rid of and get in here and get to work on stuff. And so that's where that started, was with that particular car and those videos. And, it's covered a lot of ground since then. I think there's like 50 videos on it now, or 48, 49, something like that. I'm definitely improved. I've gone back and looked at some other my old videos, and it's like, ooh, that wasn't very good. In fact, I reshot one video. I did a repair video it was my daughter's Kia Sportage, and I did a replacement on the rear wheel hub. Not a good video. Well, it just so happens that hub failed again. And I did another video, and I did it much more detailed, much more, user-friendly to look at that video. But thank you for that. Darlene, I'm happy that you're taking care of the cats and did not just redump them. Much respect. Yeah, I still have 8 cats. Yeah, I'm just, I'd rather have a dog. Brandon, prior military wife is a civilian instructor for military, hence why we are here. Okay, well, thank you for your service. Definitely. Karsten, Happy New Year to all. Well, thank you for that, Karsten. Yep, Caden, thank you for your service, definitely. Koif, why is your wife never in the live streams? She doesn't want to be. I've asked her to do it before. There may be somewhere in the live streams a couple years ago, she may have ducked her head in and said hi, and that's it. I've tried to get her involved. She just doesn't want to be part of it. So anyway, Happy New Year from Pete Brown. Any advice on firing up a 206 cylinder set for 38 years? Well, yeah, I got some advice. Take the spark plugs out, squirt in some Marvel mystery oil into the cylinders, let it sit for a while. Let it sit. That stuff will seep around the rings of the pistons, and hopefully break anything loose. And then you want to kind of see if you can turn it by hand. Give it a couple, at least a week of just letting that stuff sit in there. Put a bar on the bolt on the crank pulley and just see if you can turn it. And that's your first thing to look at and see what you have there. And then from there, of course, if it does cycle and everything. I see Jerry has pointed out Marvel Mystery Oil will help the rings. Yes, also check compression, both dry and wet. Once you know the compression, it will eliminate other problems. So there you go. That's some good advice right there. Good advice. But Marvel Mystery Oil, you got to squirt that into the cylinders and see what happens. Let it sit for a while and break down. Break down any rust. Let's see, David. Hey, Barry, how about if you raffle one of your restorations to finance the other projects? Just a thought. That could be. I hadn't thought about that. That could be. That might be an interesting approach. Thumbs up from Leonard. Thank you, Leonard. Let's see. So, Brandon's saying thanks. Caden. Paul, I'm glad your brother kept his Avante. Such a great car. Love the styling. Yeah, there's some conflict going on with that Avante. I'll just say that. Hold on a second. You have to know my family, and you probably don't want to know my family. Let's just put it that way. But There's a lot of headbutting that goes on between all of my family. I'm pretty much, I stay out of the way. Just my style. I'll stay out of the way. But my dad bought that Avante back in the 70s, and it has sat at the junkyard. It's not outside. It's been sitting inside now for years years and years and years. And my brother basically has it locked up so that my dad can't get to it. And I don't know what's going to happen with it. You know, I've considered the idea of restoring that car, but then what do I get out of it? Because nobody's going to pay me to do it. Nobody in my family would pay me to do that project. And then what? You know, if I rebuild the car, then what? Now I'm out time and money. And who ends up with a car? Who knows? So, yes, it's a cool car. You know, it's got this cool silver paint, black interior, but it's probably just going to sit forever and ever and ever because nobody's going to take ownership in that aspect of it. But I just try to stay out of the way. Robert Betts, I'm looking at a 78 King Cobra. I know it's not the best due to the gas crisis. It has a 302 in it. What recommendations do you have to open up that engine? Well, that's a good question. Anything you do is going to be an improvement. Get rid of all the emission stuff. That's going to be your first step. And then look at upgrading your camshaft. You know, get a better cam in it. You may want to look at buying better heads for it. You know, those smog heads were probably not doing it any favors. Of course, upgrade to, 4-barrel intake and carburetor. Headers are going to help, all that sort of thing. But you have to get rid of all the emission stuff, unless you're not allowed to. But I would get rid of all the emission stuff and go from there. Compression was probably really bad on that thing. If you look at, I can't give you the cam specs, but if you look at I made a video on this car on the exhaust. Okay. And so I put the exhaust on this car and I listed the cam specs in that video. This car sounds really cool. Really cool. I'm sure it's going to run really nice. So you may want to look at that cam in particular if you're interested. But otherwise, get rid of the smog stuff. That's going to be the first step. Brian, maybe either I've gotten tone deaf to it or you haven't said a little bit even once this stream. Well, I just did. Battery burnout. What video editing software are you using? I thought I could do well with a couple GoPros and their software, but I find it lacking. Yeah, GoPros, great cameras. GoPro, I mean, I have a Hero 7 right here. I love the way this thing operates. Their editing software, cumbersome. I mean, it's good software if you know how to use it, but it's really cumbersome. I use Wondershare Filmora is the company that I use. You buy it once, I think it's like $70 or something, and then they upgrade it continuously. I'm on version I probably had 20 upgrades on this software that they provided. And it's just Wondershare Filmora. If you went to my other channel, Joe Daddy's Workshop, you can look. I did a video on editing with that software. And I don't even use all of the options it has, but I like the way it operates and I'm used to it and I've gotten better at it over time. But that's what I use. But what I found is I have to take the footage from my GoPro and I have to pull it off the GoPro and put it into my computer and hold on to it there. If I transfer it directly from the GoPro to that software, it has to stay connected to the GoPro until I'm done editing. So like this has to stay plugged in and just sit there and if something happens, I lose it. So I pull it off the GoPro and save it in a file and then put it into the software. So hope that helps. Cricato Funeraria. I'm guessing that's Feliz Ano Novo is Happy New Year. And something Brazil. Family. Well, thank you for Happy New Year. I can't read all that. So unless somebody translates that for me, I can't read it. Caden, if she's not in the streams, does she at least get her hands greasy in the garage? Well, no. No, I have pictures of her putting header bolts in a let me see if I can find that real quick. In a 68 fastback that we did at the body shop years and years ago. I don't know if I could pull that up. It'd be probably hard to find that specific picture. I don't know if I have it somewhere easily found or not. But years ago, that's the only time she has small hands, so she was able to get in there and put these bolts in the header for me, because that car was super tight. Yeah, I have so many pictures on my Facebook page. It would probably take me forever to get through them all to find that particular photo. Yeah, there's too many on there right now. But I'll see if I can't come up with it before we're done. Chris, sorry I had to fetch my Disney lab. Any advice on stubborn dog? Listen to me and my dad find him, but keeps sleeping off from my mother. It's annoying. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. Let's see. Pete, I have lubed the cylinders. She sat for a month and does roll over by hand. Well, good. That's a positive sign. And like Jerry said, check your compression. See what you have, and then go from there. But yeah, that's a good thing. If it's all rotating, you're good. Wally, I would use a drill to power the oil pump as well before fire up. That's a good point. Good point, Wally. Prime that oil pump. Samuel Lisa Smith, diesel fuel in the cylinders and let it sit. Yep. Terry Keithley, Happy New Year to you and yours. See ya. Well, I'm glad you were here. Leonard, you've got the right idea. I settle family issues. 1,500 miles helps. Yep. Paul, are you thinking of selling it, splitting the money? Sound like the best solution to me. What were we asking? What were we talking about? Selling it, splitting the money? Oh, the Avante? No, I'm not. I'm just staying out of it. I don't know what they're going to do. I've given up on that. I've stayed out of. I stay out of the way of all that stuff. Christopher, have you done any fastback projects past or future? I have not done any yet. I'm hoping I find something to do. Your compressor is really okay. I'm guessing cool. I'm hoping you're saying me. I'm going to guess cool. Thank you for that, Caden. Brian. Oh, yeah, there's another conversation about the engine. Good questions on there. So maybe that'll help. Battery burnout. If you upgrade a camshaft, match the valve springs to it. I went through several sets of push rods when I was younger before I learned about valve float. Ugh. Good comment. Crash Rider, does your wife watch your live streams? I don't think so. I think she may have once in a while, if she wants to go to sleep. Because I start talking about cars, she just zones out. She just zones out. Just not her thing, which is fine. Robert, on the GoPro, you have to change the recording format from GoPro to compatible mode, which is the standard film format. There you go. Good advice on that. Yeah, I just like to pull it aside and just set it on have it in the computer. That way I can turn the GoPro off. I can unplug it. I can walk away, and it's still there. And then once I'm done with it, then I can, delete it as necessary. Let me see if I can't. Yeah, I don't know how far I'd have to go back in these pictures. Because I think, I don't know how to do a search. Maybe I can. Well, no. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to get the search. Whoops. How to get the search back to where I need it. Well, maybe I'm getting close. Maybe. If I knew what year it was that we did that. Yeah. I don't know how they oh. Yeah, this isn't working. Apparently I got the Mustang on July 2nd, 2017. That's whenever I had picked up the Jade car. So, I mean 2012. So it's been 8 years technically that I've had Jade here. Joe Lee Cox, ever thought about doing a video of installing and aligning the windows? I have thought about it, but I just haven't done it yet. I may do something about that with Jade. And the nice part about this car has original doors, so I know people run into problems with the aftermarket stuff, but I'll probably do something. I hope on Jade, because I had a hard time getting the windows out of that thing, and part of it was my fault, lack of knowledge, which is normally what happens. But I may try to do something with that. Johnny Crash, I'll talk to my wife about cars. Sometimes I just try to be brief. She usually just gives me a "that's nice" look. She's nice enough to pay attention. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of. I don't even get it. That's nice. She just zones out. She's been with me 30 years, so I start talking cars and just kind of goes away. Bellman, put a Whipple supercharger on a Mustang behind you. Ooh, yeah, that'd be nice, but I want to be able to just drive it and not get too excited about trying to race the thing. Caden, well, guys, this has been fun, but I have a few things I need to do. Try to catch you in the next live stream. We'll try to catch you all next live stream. Yeah, that'll be Monday night at 7 p.m. Okay, so there's some conversation on there. Wow. So he says, air cleaner was in place. I backed this car in a barn 38 years ago for the fellow who owned it. I was 12 years old at the time, and he refused to sell the car. I finally own it. Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Happy New Year, all. Stay safe, and please don't drink and drive. Yes, don't do that. I should say no, don't drink and drive. Darlene would definitely benefit from a video on the windows and doors. Windows in the doors, yes. Nick Pixel checking in. And again, if you haven't checked out Nick's channel, well, check him out as well. Got some cool stuff on there. Brian, could you talk about clean, dry air and hoses for bodywork and paint? I keep separate hose only used for those purposes. Well, that's if my little paint booth I have in the back. I have a shop, we had our body shop. We had a filtration system that was just two canisters. One was like oil separator or whatever, and one was moisture. I keep those isolated, and I keep the hoses that I use for that are also connected. They're isolated. So I have one air line back there that is just regular air. And then I have the secondary line, which is for painting and primers and stuff like that. That's all I really do. I also may put in an inline air filter, or water filter separator, just to be more careful. But that's really all I have set up. I've got a video. I've shared that in a video. I forget what I labeled it. If you do a search on paint booth in my videos, it'll pop up. And because I did a renovation on the on that paint booth several years ago, and that was part of it. Nick, I think I might make a video of the 78 Ford. Yeah, you should do a viewers project video so we can get it out there for people. you can tell the story of that 78 Ford 4x4. And I think people would love to see that. They would love to see that truck. That's a good looking truck. So, yeah, do it like a viewers project thing, and then we'll share it on the channel. Good content. Good content. Do it, Nick. Look forward to seeing it. Yep. Yeah, and like I said, I talked about it earlier. At 5 o'clock, I'm going to have another video come out, and again, it's going to be on this car, but it's also going to be talking about how things are going, what's going on. Again, YouTube money, stuff like that. So if you want to see that, that'll come out in about 50 minutes. Yep. Yeah, Nick, you already know how I feel about that truck. That's a cool truck. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Anyway, so we've been an hour and 11 into it. We got 61 minutes. People have already, we've already talked about like future plans, 2021 and stuff like that. I really don't have much else to talk about. I've been accumulating parts for Jade. I have the taillights and I have the door seals, and I have trunk seals, and I have interior panels, and I have a headliner for it, and new gaskets, and all kinds of stuff. And all of that will have to come after it gets in paint. And of course, I had people asking me about the AC deal on it. I still need to install the box under the dash, and I have a box here somewhere with kill mat in it that I plan to install. I was looking the other day. I have the original jute material, insulation pad. It's still there underneath the dash, and I may try to put it back into place. I don't want to take it out from behind the steering column. My plan, I thought the thing was gone, and that's why I bought that kill mat. But I think I'll still use the kill mat maybe all the way up as far as I can get underneath that, and then work it down into the floor, because you want to try to get as much noise out of it as you can. So I need to install that kill mat. There's still a lot of things to do, but it's getting closer and closer and closer, which is a good thing. Dave, DIY guy, Happy New Year's, Barry. Happy New Year's to you. And what will Jade have for a steering setup? Well, it's already in place. It has the Borgeson upgrade. It's kind of like a factory steering setup, power steering. I know a lot of people are doing electric stuff. I haven't jumped on that wagon yet, but it has the. All right, March Indy. Happy New Year, Barry. Rick. Well, thank you, man. Give you some bells for that. That's awesome. Every bit of that helps. Thank you very much. So he says steering setup. Yeah, the Borgeson, and I don't know if you saw it or not. I put in the CSRP disc brake setup is in this car, and I think it'll be fine. Everything looks like it's gonna be fine. The only thing I need to modify is the return line on the power steering. It's too short and it's too close to the headers. So I'm going to have to move that or replace that with a longer line and get it a little bit out of the way. Paul, did you replace the cowl on Jade? I did not. It seems to be just fine. I had put water into it. I had it up outside the house. I had put water in the cowl. I didn't see anything come through the inside of the car. It came out the side vents like it's supposed to. So I'm not going to do anything to the cowl, except I may spray in or apply some sort of a primer. Whether I do it like I did the rocker panels, where I used like Pore 15, chassis saver, something on those lines, and kind of blow it into the rocker or the cowl, or if I buy another one of those nozzle kits from like Eastwood and spray it into the cowl. Now the difficulty with that is you run the risk of blowing it out through the vent, so I have to be careful with that. but I'll probably add something to the cowl in that aspect, just to help protect it. Brian, my point being is that people should know if they use common air to blow off their bodywork, the compressor oil gets in the primer and Bondo. Dep, yeah, that's true. You run that risk. You do run that risk. I don't know that I've ever really run into that issue here, but you do run that risk. So that's a good point. That's a very good point. You want to try to keep all contaminants out of your bodywork and that sort of thing. It can show up later and definitely cause problems. So that's a good point. That's well noted. DIY guy, made here in Connecticut. Yeah, I didn't know where it was made, but I guess I'll take your word for it. But so far it's been good. It's been good. I haven't driven it very much. I've taken it up and down my street a few times, but haven't seen any issues with it. So, Chris, just enjoyed lobster tail with shrimp and coleslaw. Our family tradition is seafood on New Year's Eve and day. Cool. I'm all for that. Lobster tail and shrimp. Let me tell you, if you really want to indulge, in seafood and get probably more than you bargain for, go to the Nordic Lodge up in New England area. I think it's Rhode Island. Look it up. Place called the Nordic Lodge. And my wife and I went there 7 years ago, I think. It wasn't cheap. Not a cheap excursion. At that time, it was like $75 a head, and I think it's over $100 now. I'll just point that out up front. The premise is you have all you can eat seafood, steak, fresh made, homemade desserts, whatever. And I mean, when I say all you can eat, I had 4 lobsters when I was up there, plus shrimp, plus some steak. They have this huge display, and you can get as many lobsters as you want, as much shrimp as you want, as much crab as you want, as much whatever. And they have a whole different section with all the steaks and meats and stuff in it. It was amazing. The only thing is you have 2 hours, 2-hour time limit. Once you get in there, clock starts. You have 2 hours to indulge and engorge. I want to go back. I really enjoyed that. I mean, it was not something you want to do every weekend, obviously, but it was a good time. So if you really want to get into it, Nordic Lodge, check it out. And the only reason we found that out was there was a show on one of the cooking channel or something, or play, whatever it was. And it was like a travel channel. It's like, go to this place if you want to eat, this. And we just made plans, flew up there and did it. It was pretty awesome. David Sherrill, as of starting a engine that has not run in years, have you ever done a video priming the oil pump, or even to do a video about what to do for an engine like that? I don't think. I'm thinking about the priming of the oil pump, because I know I did that on this car, but I don't know that I showed that, because I'm trying to remember. I did like a break-in video for this engine, breaking in the cam, and I can't remember if I showed that or not, because I had to make something to put it into the oil pump, because I think it's a hex head type of socket, and I put it on a drill, but I don't know if I showed that. But that is one thing you can use. Like I used to do it on like a GM product. I would just take an old distributor shaft and use that without the gear on it, and then I could turn it. Ford's a little bit different, but yeah, basically you put on a drill and just turn it slow. You're not going to want to like hit it fast. You just have to turn it slow so that it doesn't blow everything apart. But other than that, I have not done a startup of an old engine that's just been sitting for a great period of time. So no good answer there. Robert, ran out of sound deadener for me to install the quarter panel. You will get if you want pennies through Amazon. That's what it comes down to. I should label that pennies from Amazon. Because I was talking about that. I talked about that in my video that's coming up. And I'll just since you brought that up, let me just tell you right now. I can show you. I don't know if I could. Well, I can't post this on there, but I'm looking up Amazon and where I'm at as far as real numbers, right? Between January and today, items or revenue, shipped items revenue through Amazon, going through my channel, is $60,000 that people have bought stuff through Amazon. What does that translate to for me for the whole year? $2,200. That's what it translates to. The best month I had was July. I think I had 3 people buy AC units or the heat pumps, mini splits. And then it's just, like March was like $62. September was $100. So $2,200 didn't even make it to $200 a month. So really it is, pennies from Amazon. So that's a good way to look at it. And quite the translation there. I mean, again, I don't promote a lot of products. There's ways that you can make more money with Amazon. Like if I said, today I'm using this GoPro I bought off of Amazon and it's blah, 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 and then I have it somehow. There's ways you can whatever. I'm not here for that. I can't sit here and go, I can't sit here and say, oh, this is a commercial for, I'm not, it's convenient. It's helpful. Every little bit helps, honestly. Every little bit helps. So, but yeah, Jerry says, call it copper from Amazon. Yeah. CFA. Chris, I hate the variation of taste this year. It was wonderful last year, but I paid for 6 full lobsters. Terrible, tough, not sweet at all. Tails tonight were sweet and savory. There you go. Yeah, it's like you're saying, it's tough to get the right. Sometimes you don't get the best lobster out of the bunch. Brendan's Garage off to hardware store today. Going to get some 3mm MDF and final to make some inside door trims for the Prefect. You need inside door trims to get road legal. Wow. Okay. So I guess door trims would be door panels, we would say. But yeah, wow. So you have to have those to be legal. Man, you have a lot of rules over there. Like I said, here in Georgia, I could have headlights on this thing and a windshield, take off the doors, hood. They wouldn't even say a thing. Wally, I bought a oil pump primer kit years ago, had Ford, GM, and Chrysler shafts included. Well, there you go. That's a good way to look at it. Chris, NPD would be good for you if you can get a promo code system going. We'd all be interested. That's not a bad idea. I hadn't thought about that as far as a promo code type of thing. I guess I would have to, I don't know, I'd have to see what the rules say, because I've heard some people tell me that there's some stuff you can't get on NPD that you can maybe only get through CJ Pony or somebody else. I don't know. I know there's price differences between the two, obviously. And of course, I think CJ has their RPM reward program or whatever. I don't know if NPD offers that or not. But it would be a interesting approach, So I should probably pursue that a little bit better. And then I don't know how exactly all that works. Like if I were to make a video specifically endorsing or showing an NPD product, and I've told you before, I'm not going to lie for a company and say, this is the best blah, blah, blah that you can buy when I already know it's not. I'm not going to do that. So we'd have to make sure that that's understood. I can't endorse something necessarily that I don't believe in. Not my thing. David Sherrilberry did answer the question and give some info on what to do. Thank you. Also, S68 Mustang restoration. We will look into it. Yep. Brennan's. Yep. We have a few rules here. Yeah. I mean, you were saying before on the anything you work on, welds and stuff like that, has to be inspected, and you can't put paint on it or primers or fillers because they'll strip it all off. I mean, that's I'd say you have some pretty tight rules. Robert, Infernal engines use a small hex shaft. Some are 5/16. It can be spun with a socket on a drill. Do not spin it fast, as you end up with a pretty spiral shaft. I found out the hard way. That's what I was saying, because I know that's what I did on this car. I put in the drill and I just slowly generated turns, and I waited and watched the oil come up. People get carried away. They think, this is I'm going to put this drill on it and prime it. No. Hydraulic fluid has to be influenced. It's not like air. The air can be compressed, fluids cannot. So you can put yourself in a bind pretty quick if you're trying to force fluids through an opening. Chris, look at Auto Sound car channel. They had a crushed trunk corner. Got to show how to fix it and got a replacement part. Okay. I could take a look at that. All right. We're an hour and 27 minutes into it. I think I'm getting close to calling it a day for this. I'm getting that weird kind of, I don't know what that is. I get some sort of a weird, sharp thing going on in my throat sometimes. I don't know why. But it's only when I'm out here and I'm rambling on for periods of time. But it's been great having everybody here. Okay, so you're saying auto resto mod. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. But it's been great having everybody here. These live streams have been such a good thing. For me, it gives me a chance to talk. My wife says I love to talk. Obviously, I have no problem talking. Gives me a chance to interact and, share information, build a community, have people involved. Here's a question, I think. Upgrading from a 20-inch wide radiator on my 289 Ranchero to a big block radiator, 24 inches wide, and was just informed from Eckler's that my US radiator will not be into March. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on. I've got the 2004 Honda Civic that I want to rebuild and do a rebuild video on that, and the parts won't be here till like end of January. So, and I ordered those 2 months ago. I think month and a half, 2 months ago. So kind of where we're at right now. And Nandu, Happy New Year, everyone. See you next year. Yes. Starlene, be safe. Hope you stay well. Me too. Wally, all the best to you and your family, Barry, and see you next year. Yes. Great chat, Barry. See you next time. Whoops. Gives you more of a personality. Okay. You talking about the sore thing in my throat? Okay. Anyway, like I said, it's been great having everybody here and being part of the community and being involved and making this, a way to get information out, share information, pose questions. I've had people on the live stream itself, and that's been awesome throughout the year. Hopefully I can improve on that. Okay. Okay. I just had an email pop up, so we're all good. Anyway, but we're going to continue this. I'll keep doing it on Mondays and at 7 and Thursdays at 3. And who knows? Maybe there'll be some videos where I manage to make it to, again, like I went to Andrew's place up in Pennsylvania. Maybe that'll be something I can try to do next year and get more involved with, roadshow stuff, as I call it. I think it would be kind of cool to do stuff like that, but we'll see. But that's going to be it. And so again, Happy New Year to everyone. Let's hope 2021 is better. And we'll see you on Monday night at 7 p.m. Take care.